Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Adjacent with Jace, a tabletop interview and review show for the Adventures in Authority brought to you by the Black Tower Stores. I am your host, Jace, and with me today, I prefer the Hilton, but he's a Four Seasons. He changed his tune for all the right reasons. He made a scene that would impress a bard when we found him out in that graveyard. An excellent addition to maintain our tradition of waiting behind a screen way too long to be seen. Introducing now and making his way, the new S&M member, the cleric Yandre. Yo.
That was great, and you made it all the way out.
Oh no, it froze. Okay, it's going now, mostly. Well, you're good. You complimented me, that's why it freaked out.
Okay, yeah, I was like, I don't know if it's me or if it's just the connection. I might have to close some things. I keep a lot of things running on my computer, so.
I'm gonna close stuff as well. If only we had some type of tower that was a computer that we could use. Well, thank you, the artist known as Ari, playing our newest member, for showing up. And for people who don't realize, it has been 5 months since last seen on this show, mostly because we switched it to 2 time, so that extends it. But also because he wasn't around. So we've got quite a bit to go over, but also I would like to bring up before we get into his character building and his decisions and all that kind of things, I will point out that this is the 2-year anniversary of the ending of our previous campaign that we did before the stream. Played 3 years. We had a lot of memories in that game, and now we're starting this one, which we constantly reference. So
I think, to be fair, I think I was only 2 years in that last game.
Hey,
it was a 3-year campaign, but I think I was only 2 years. The last end.
Still counts. And to commemorate it, I prepared some of the art that we have for it. This is the old Kelder, my character. This is Izal's grandfather. We've got Nock, a artist renditioning of Nock, which was Ari's character. This is Omlik, which is Kilmo's character, which is just Kilmo backwards with an H. We have River, which is great grandfather of Kelmac. I'm not sure their age issues. It's probably at least twice. And we have one of the whole group together. And Kelder's on a rock because he's short.
I think Kelder's up on the rock because you wanted him in a higher place than everybody else.
I didn't draw it, and I did not tell them to do that. The person who drew it did know that was my character, though, and I was one paying him, so that might have... My character had more renditioning than anyone else's did.
That's fair, and it might have influenced the decision making on who gets the highlight on everything there, so it's okay.
Can I get a little more grandiose in my posture, please? Okay. I got the Lightbringer that I have in the picture is like right where my crotch is. Which I didn't do. I didn't tell him that, but that's where he decided to put it. It's alright. Bye, old man.
So your crotch is Lightbringer? Is that what I'm hearing?
It is shedding the light to the next generations. Which doesn't sound any better. That's bad. Oh, anyway, we've got a lot of questions since you haven't been on 5 months. You started a new character. Since you've been gone, we had a new character come in that time period who was gone less time. I'm trying to think of, no, yeah, he was gone about the same amount of time, showed up before you.
So Kelmac came in probably about 3 sessions before I did.
Yeah. Oh well. You arrived at the time you were supposed to, I guess. That's a wizard thing, though. We're going to get into the first question that has come in through the chat. So we have a question for Ari. How do you channel all of Yandre's different seasons?
Oh, that's actually a really good question, and we're getting straight to it. Honestly, I have always just wanted to voice different people. Like, I feel like I play people who are like schizophrenic or have multiple personalities in a lot of different games. And this is just an opportunity for me to let some of those extra personalities out that I don't get to often use. And Yandere is kind of silly, which I usually don't get a chance to play a silly character, but like if I need to be a serious character, I can actually still be a serious character and then revert back to a silly character if I want to. So it was a great way for me to just kind of let off some steam.
It's a great way to just
But
act.
so you guys, everybody, we've met Autumn, Spring, and Summer Yandere. The only one we haven't met is Winter Yandere yet. Um, I mean, to be fair, Spring Yandere, which is like the standard Yandere, uh, I pull a lot of like information and like gestures and the way I talk from like Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter. Um, so like the like stupid statements that are just kind of very out there, very blunt, and like have no real tact to them. So I hope that's what that comes across as. I might just be thinking I'm doing more in my head than I'm not. Summer Andre is just this Italian guy that runs a deli shop down the road, and it's just fun. It's fun. It's a fun character to get into and really just throw some stuff around and just kind of be crazy and wild. And then Autumn Yandere, I don't know why I picked that accent for any reason whatsoever. I didn't even know I was going to play Autumn Yandere this last episode or the episode before. Was it this last episode?
Yes.
Yeah, I introduced him this last episode. So I didn't even realize I was playing Autumn Yandere until like I was like, oh, I guess I need to introduce another season. It's been like 3 episodes since we've had an opportunity to meet another one. So it was kind of on the fly, and I was just like, okay, cool, this is working for me. I like this.
Try to put your votes in for which accent or character idea is behind Winter before it pops up.
You know what? We might see Winter sometime soon, and by sometime soon, I mean like not next month, but the month after, probably. But yeah, no, I'm excited about Winter, and I think that's the reason why I'm holding off on Winter to the last season to be shown.
Well,
So hopefully, I'm not like overselling it. Oh yeah, like I'm like saying, it's just like that's why I put it off for so long because like I'm actually incredibly enthused by Winter, and we'll see how it goes.
On to some questions I have set up for the Yandere questions here. First, what are Yandere's thoughts on the party currently?
Which Yandere?
Rapid fire, like initial thoughts of each time. Do they each get like a new experience towards them when they're like, oh, I've never met them before? Or is it just their temperament changes?
So their interactions with them are different depending on the season. So like they all have experienced the same people and interacted the same way, but like the way that each of them will react to certain situations will be different for each person. So I'll start off with Spring Yandere. So Spring Yandere, his feelings on the party so far. Spring Yandere is excited to be around the party. Namely, he's more excited about being around Volred, just because it's another elf, and it's an elf that's not the same as like the elf that he's grown up around. So he's an Eldrin. He's like nature's like first elf. So he always refers to like Volred and any of the elves in this place as domesticated because they are. They're not wild. They don't just say what they want to say. They don't do what they want to do. And it's very weird and endearing to Yandere because he's like, well, why do you have so much self restraint? You could really just go off the handle if you wanted to. So that's the thought process for Spring Yandere. Summer Yandere doesn't quite like Volred right now because Volred told Summer Yandere that he can't be around and was not allowed to be out. And then Autumn Yandere, I would say Autumn Yandere is kind of neutral to Volred. He had an opportunity to see. I think Autumn Yandere has had the best opportunity to see the background that Volred has grown up in, and has like probably a better understanding of how Volred acts the way he does. But is still incredibly confused about the dynamic of his family, and still is a little off-putted by some of the decision making. So that's Volred. Kelmec, I'm gonna be honest. Yandere's engagements with Kelmec have been very limited. I think the only person who's really talked to Kelmec is Spring Yandere, and Spring Yandere is still waiting for Kelmec to pick something that's valuable to him, so that way he can set his rule for that deal. Summer Yandere didn't really get a chance to talk to Kelmec, but does see that there's a lot of potential for Kelmec to be like somebody who's going to go pick a fight somewhere, and is a little excited about that. Autumn Yandere didn't talk to Kelmec, essentially. He literally walked into a room, they made a plan, they separated, and then came back. And that's the only experience. So like it literally, there's no experience with Autumn Yandere on Kelmec. I can make this next one really easy. Calum. All of them think that this book is going to possess Calum. All of them. Like every single one of them, every time the book has come up in conversation, it's like, that doesn't look good. We don't like that. We don't like that at all. And so I don't think, and again, Autumn has had very minimal interaction with him. And then Izal. Spring Yandere likes Izal, hasn't really had a lot of time to talk to Izal herself and get to know her, but knows that she's lying about her name, which is something that the character itself just knows. And then I would say Summer Yandere had fun when Izal was around. Izal has this way of motivating people to do stupid things that aren't necessarily needed at that moment in time, but are beneficial in some way or another. And Summer Yandere is just very rash and very direct in all of his approach to things like that. So he takes a liking to that. Autumn Yandere, again, didn't have very much interaction with Izal. Had a moment, they talked, separated, came back, and that's it.
All the best interactions with me should be just see if he wants to just leave.
I think you have a lot more to bring to the table, and you're not allowing yourself to do it just yet. But I'm interested to see what happens and what comes of it.
That's the thing. You all have this idea that there's a bunch of stuff there. It's really not.
Oh no, I don't have the idea that there's a bunch of stuff there. I'm waiting for someone to force the hand, because Eric has a tendency, even if you don't have a fully fleshed out backstory, he makes you come up with one and you have to stick with it after it. So I'm interested to see exactly how that's going to play out, more so than being like, oh, Izal has this elaborate backstory. No, Izal hasn't really picked her backstory. To my knowledge, I don't know. And Eric's is going to put a situation or a scenario in front of Izal that's going to force her to make something up.
That's funny. It's going to be hilarious. We'll be like 18 levels in, and nothing will come up. It's like, so you were just boring. Yes.
This was my job this time.
It's like I'm here to press the buttons behind the screen. That's it. There is a lot of backstory there, but it's what I've said. It's a family backstory, and I'm here. That's it. There's plenty of family stuff you could pull up that Eric's welcome to do whenever he wants, but like that's not stuff that's directly me. That's stuff related to backstory and family. So like, wait, there's nothing to do about that.
I mean, I'm not mad at it. It's nice to play a character where you can just be like, I'm gonna sit in the background and let things happen.
Sometimes I get bored off my ass though, so I'm just waiting around. That's when I go and do. If I'm left alone and there's no one to keep me in check, if it's like me and Volred and we're just kind of hanging out, it's like chances are we're going to do something stupid because I got bored and I was left to my own devices.
You know, and a little bit of chaos is not a bad thing. A little bit. Reserved. Controlled chaos is fine.
I'm a chaos coordinator. I need to get this planned out chaos in between 7 a.m. and 11 p.m. this day, that week. That's it. And after that, no chaos for like 2 months.
Yeah, that's fair. I give that. I'll give you that.
It's the Zella version of chaos. And it's planned out. Alright, so we get to another question here. Based around how your character building concept kind of came about, how far towards the point where Arthur left the party was Yandere, the idea of Yandere in there? Did it start with, I want to play this class build, I have this idea for a character? What was the building process for
that? So in Eric's games, I always have a backup character. It's not a point of if I'm going to get to use that character or not. It's just always there. So when I was creating Arthur, I actually had the idea and premise of Yandere set aside. Like I had a character sheet in D&D Beyond that was just like Yandere, and it was a very, very like rough thrown together level 10 character that was just ready to go. And the thought behind Yandere came about because we have no actual healer. We have no actual healer in our party at the time. And so Arthur was kind of facilitating like as an off healer, but I knew that if I were ever to die or the character were to go away, I would want to play at least a somewhat healer role. And the concept of a grave cleric to me is just interesting. Like I've seen a whole bunch of other clerics. I've seen the life cleric, I've seen a nature cleric, I've seen a twilight cleric. Like I've seen all of these other clerics, and I've never seen anybody in our group particularly play a grave cleric. And it's one of the classes that I have not done a full campaign in. So that was also another idea behind that.
Clerics are fun.
Yeah. I did take a dip into Rogue because I wanted to... Okay, it doesn't sound like it makes sense. But I have 3 levels in Rogue, so I can take Mastermind, which allows me to cast the help action at a distance.
That's how you were doing that. I was like, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah, so
I didn't say anything, so I figured Eric knows that's not like a distance bonus action, so... I built it to do that. So it rolls into my backstory a little bit, and there are other things that will develop later on throughout the campaign that will make some of that make sense. But I knew I wasn't going to be close to everybody all the time, especially with Calum and Volred always trying to be in the back somewhere. Izal always trying to be in the front, and now we have Kelmek, who is essentially the same thing, is always trying to be in the front. So for me to be able to help people as best as possible, that dip into Rogue made a lot more sense. Now that it's in practical usage, I'm liking it a lot, but I don't know if I'm ever going to dip back into Rogue. I might just go Cleric all the way through. You get a lot from 3 levels of Rogue, though.
Yep. Sneak attack. Expertise. I got a lot. Yeah, there's a lot.
You have steady aim too. It's the 3rd level cunning action. So you're processing that information right now.
I am processing it because I don't remember seeing that, and I don't think it's on my character.
You have to click the bonus features and traits.
Oh! See, I learn something new every day.
Neat.
Wait, now I'm going to add it. I have to add it or else I'm going to forget about it.
Yeah. As I knew, was looking at your character on D&D Beyond, like just the party layout, like it shows that it's cleric rogue. Like, oh, cool. But I also knew you didn't have Revivify, so like it's got to be at least 3 levels into rogue. But like I don't know what type of rogue you are, and then I never looked into Mastermind to figure out that it's a bonus action thing. What the fuck's going on here? No one picks Mastermind.
And again, that was also another thing is like everybody usually does like an assassin rogue and things like that, or the arcane trickster. And I was like, this is an interesting way to play 2 character classes that I haven't seen played in general, but then also mash them together. So, it is what it is.
Yeah. All right. So, from the entire period where Arthur had left, when did you have Yandere decided upon, though? Is it before or after?
Honestly, Arthur was on his way out the door for like 3 or 4 weeks before he actually left. So I would say it was before Arthur actually left, and I think it was I would say it was like 2 weeks before he actually disappeared. I had the idea and the rough draft of Yandere put in place. I got a chance to talk to Eric, the DM, and just kind of map out level 20 Yandere in the way that I perceived him to be, and then scaled it down to where we were. So it was before, and it was about 2 weeks before Arthur actually left.
All right, on to the next question here. If you were to rate the party members from favorite to least favorite, I guess I don't say you have to do it for each version of them, but who is... You also said that Volred's your most interested one. Do you have like a favorite one, the least favorite, based off of Yandere's opinion about them?
Favorite to least favorite. So again, Volred is interesting to Yandere. I wouldn't say that he's his favorite right now, though. So I would say, of the party from Yandere's perspective, Izal is number 1. Izal is the favorite because there's a lot of intrigue between the different seasons towards Izal, and there's not a lot of information. And Yandere is incredibly inquisitive and asks a lot of questions, and he hasn't had an opportunity to really... There's something that's interesting about Izal that Yandere can't pinpoint yet. So I would say Izal is the favorite. Volred is the second favorite. Kelmec would be third, and then Calum would be last.
Because of the book.
Calum would be last because, again, from Yandere's perspective, he's the biggest danger and threat to the party because of that book. And so Yandere is still hesitant about a lot of the interactions with Calum. And I'm assuming here in the next episode or 2, the book Master of Flareon, is going... Is it Master of Flareon?
No.
What's the book's name?
I don't freaking know.
Whatever. The book wants to have a conversation with Yandere. So I'm interested to see how that's going to play out, and if that's going to change my perception on Calum's Maylor. There you go.
Thank you, Sue.
Our note taker. But yeah, so I would say that has a potential to change some of the conversations there and the rankings there. So,
ooh, Rab had that by memory apparently. Very nice.
Get it.
I don't have that kind of memory.
But yeah, so Izal, Volred, Kelmec, Calum.
Nice.
Maylor is 5th. Dead last.
That 5th party member. Do we have 5? The
I counted Baylor as an additional person. We have 5 total, but 4 people I can actually rank.
all right then. What are Yandre's thoughts on the party's issue with this irritating gods problem, mostly with Volred?
So you guys have mentioned like the God touched, God, whatever, all of that stuff around Yandere, but it hasn't really been a problem. The only problem that Yandere has had is when Volred mentioned that he kind of destroyed a church for the simple premise of just destroying a church.
He destroyed the church that his mother worships, that deity of.
I mean, I get it. I get it. Like, again, I'm not mad at it or anything. As a player, I'm not mad at it, and it's funny. But there is some hesitancy there. But to be fair, Yandere worships Feywild gods. And so a lot of the prime material guys, he doesn't really care if they're impacted or not. So it's an interesting conundrum. It's just like, oh, so you just take the opportunity to destroy something whenever you decide you want to destroy something. Okay, got it. Yeah, Volred's a menace.
He's getting better.
He's turning those leaves. He's starting a lot of leaves, but he's turning.
That was the issue. It's like discovering leaves. Like, oh, I really should turn this over.
Yeah. So again, like to answer your question, it doesn't really bother Yandere yet, because he hasn't run into a god with you guys yet.
That's gonna be interesting because it keeps happening. So eventually, I think it'll happen with you.
I imagine it probably will. At some point or another, the whole prophecy thing about the 3 of you is gonna have to come to pass. About like I don't remember all of it, but God touched something.
I don't think that was a prophecy. It was more of we all just happen to have divine relation bits about us. The prophecy was mostly about the vision I think Caleb had with that person.
Yeah, I mean that was red. Yeah, I mean that was weird, but I feel like Yandere has seen a lot of incredibly weird things since he's been in the prime. At least to Yandere, most of the things that he's experiencing is incredibly new and weird to him. So people getting possessed, people having these weird curses on them, people who do these weird visions and get sucked into dreams and almost kill themselves. It's all the same to Yandere.
I played two with the party members though.
It's all the same to Yandere.
On to another question. How do you think each party member feels about Yandere? How does Yandere's perspective of them towards himself?
Yandere's perspective or me as a player?
Yes.
Yandere is oblivious to a lot of people's actual interactions. He made a deal with everybody for their friendship, and at this point, he's just like, I'm solid. They're my friends now. No matter what I do, no matter what they say, whatever happens, we're friends. So, like, for Yandere's perspective, he's like, oh, cool. I'm in a party. They accepted me. They all came into my fairy circle. We're now friends. We're now friends. We're indebted to each other. That's how that's going to work. For me as a player, I don't think Kelmec trusts Yandere at all. I don't think he has any interest in even getting to learn or know Yandere. Izal is just kind of fly by night, to be honest. She's like, there's more meat shields. There are people here. We're just doing what we need to do. Let's get where we need to go and get done. Volred has asked a lot of questions of Yandere, but has also been incredibly... In the beginning, Volred was incredibly mean to Yandere. Rightfully so, but was mean to Yandere. So I don't know if Volred is learning more about Yandere and is like turning a leaf. But there's some improvement there. And then I feel like Caleb actually genuinely wants to know more about Yandere and is intrigued about his history and things about him. So like I feel like if anybody were to like Yandere, it would be Caleb.
He's a nerd.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. All right. So at that point, we're at about halfway point. We recently had combat, which means I had to go and update the stats. So I'm going to pull up those stats real quick and get the updated bit since I believe Arthur was here. The first stats I registered were from right after Arthur left. We actually had 2 guest people on the game. And those guest people were known as Chuck and Norma. So 2 new names were added to the stats list. Chuck and Norma. Chuck had registered 56 damage as his maximum output, and then Norma had 42. They both registered 1 kill. So they're on there. Volred's like, oh my god, I forgot about them. Yeah. Chuck had 2 natural 20s registered during then. On to some big stats. Let's get Yandre's damage out there so everyone knows. The big damage dealer, Yandre. If you had to guess, what would you put it at? Over, under 10?
I feel like it's over 10.
Over, under 10.
Now we're bridging some gaps here. It's like, are we counting like the animals that I hit to in the hunt?
No.
Oh, well, that's not fair.
I didn't count that when Volred murked like 4 ADAC for no reason.
That's true. Jeez. I'm going to say over 20, under 30.
Correct answer would be under 20 with 13. You've only damaged 1 individual for 13 points.
You know, it is what it is. I've gotten into 2 combats, and technically in one of those combats I was possessed. So realistically, I've only been in 1 battle.
Yes.
Effectively. Yes. I'll take that. I'll take that for the first battle.
There is the stats correction of it being only 3 ADAC, which I knew it was 3, but I also didn't count the giant sheep ram thing you killed as that stat. So it was 4 things you just assassinated.
You did do that. I'm assuming you're talking to Rap.
The comment section, yeah. Rap over there. So to get the final stat of what Arthur Bear had dealt during the entire time he was there was 1105. So Yandre might not be able to catch up anytime soon to what.
No, Yandre's not here to do damage at all. Yandre is not here to do damage.
Yeah. Kelmac has registered on the stats now since then. His largest hit was 30 damage, which I will give you a hint on who he hit for 30 points. It was not an enemy. It was me.
I was about to say, didn't he fight you at one point?
Yep, he hit me 30 points.
Well, good for you, Kelmac.
He has done a total of 160 points of damage.
And realistically, it's been 2 fights. So yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah. So that's pretty good. 80 of that was basically against the 1 guy.
Oh, 3 fights, because technically he fought you, and I didn't really count that one. So that that's still good.
Yeah. So let's get into the DM's damage. He still leads the group. He has dealt 1,893 points of damage. He does get a little buff on this because he took the damage credit that I got when I was possessed. So the damage that I dealt to people was done by him. And then he went 1-on-1 with each of us. So that's direct damage to 1-on-1 people. So that's a big stat boost.
I guess we can give him that.
He leads Izal by 145 points. Izal has 1,748 points of damage.
Good job, Izal.
Second, wild guess on who's second.
Volred.
Volred is correct. Over under the gap of 300 between Volred and myself.
That's tough because Volred puts out massive damage at one time.
Volred is very hard to guess upon because it's either he does 20 damage for a full fight or he does 300.
Yeah. So when we say over or under, you're saying is it over 300 is the gap?
The gap. Over or under 300 points, which means he's closer to me or farther away from me.
I think he's closer to you. I don't think he's closer by much. I think it's like right on that like line of like 300 somewhere. But I do think he's closer.
The gap is under 300.
Yes.
You would be incorrect. The gap is 430.
Okay, you got to pump out some numbers, bud.
Red has 1318 as his max damage.
Yeah, you got. This is some rookie numbers, but it's time to pump them up.
Yeah.
I mean, he did just take a new feat, so I think it's going to improve his damage output. So we'll see how that works.
And again, I benefited from fighting the Disgraced Paladin 1-on-1 when no one else was fighting. So Kelmac's numbers went up by that, and my numbers went up by that. And I dealt a lot more damage to that guy than Kelmac did. Calum, I think he finally passed somebody on his damage. He is at 188, so he is still
beating Kelmac
of Kelmac, yeah,
by 20 damage points.
Yep.
And he's been in the game longer.
Yep. Scroll down here to kills. Arthur still leads the group with 36. He's all with 34. Volred with 24. Calum has 5.
Go Calum.
He's still behind Gander.
Okay, but Gander killed chickens. Let's be real.
Those don't count.
Oh, they didn't count?
The ones at the very beginning? Yeah, those counted because those are like CR, but not like chickens.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't talking about like just regular chickens. I was
those
talking about the
dangerous stuff.
cockatrice.
Those were dangerous.
Oh yeah, they were about to murk us the first battle.
That was fine. So that's pretty much it for our stats on here. We have some healing updates. Yandere has 12 points of healing because I'm only counting the one in combat healing. So,
yeah, and one of them didn't count because somebody was already dead. Freaking Volred's brother.
Kelmac has 35 points. The asterisk by that, he healed himself.
It's also another reason why I decided to play like an actual healer because the only times that people would heal, they would be healing themselves if it wasn't Arthur. So I was like, so selfish.
I used part of a healer's kit to stabilize somebody.
You did, and that's because I missed the fact that they went down. Like I didn't hear the fact that Volred's dad went down, and so I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'll worry about trying to heal this person or healing these other people. And then they were like, oh no, Dad's down, and I was like, how many turns has he been down? He's on his second death save, and I'm like, oh.
Don't worry, best healer right here. I'll take care of that.
Keep saying that.
I just surprised that one kid got one shotted. Like, Eric's just like,
I'm not surprised at all at this point.
Wow, that's kind of rude.
I mean, hey, listen, they both went down basically to one attack. At that point, I'm not surprised at all. They have somewhat above average person health.
I think one had 8. The dad had like 8 HP or something.
The dad had 12. I know because I healed him to max HP with me healing at 12.
Ta-da!
So yeah, no. Again, just barely above average human health. So I mean, I guess it would make sense if an assassin shot you and assassinated you that you would go down. I was just hoping that they would have a little bit more health than that.
All right, so we're on to the home stretch for this lovely episode here. We just leveled up in our campaign for people who weren't paying attention near the end. I think we might have did it when we finished.
We were off. Yeah, we were offline whenever that announcement was made.
We can add a party level 8 characters now. Was there any character decisions you had to make?
Yeah, it's actually a really rough level for me because I had 4 levels in cleric and then 3 levels in rogue. And so I could have taken the extra level in rogue and then got either the ASI bump or another feat this level, Or I bump myself up to cleric level 5 and actually get revivify to where I can revive people if they do happen to go down. So it was a relatively tough decision because I do have basically two um, priority skills. And so I was like, maybe I should take the rogue level and just get some ASI bumps. But I decided to go with the cleric level because I feel like we're gonna die a lot more here in the near future, and I don't want people to die. So I'm gonna take the revivify for now.
Good choice.
Hopefully, like Volred's sugar daddy dad could actually like give me some diamonds, so that way I don't have to go and hunt these things down. Because we know Eric's gonna be he's gonna make it incredibly difficult for us to just find a diamond and revive people.
It's like, we need to revive your son. He died. I know. How much it's going to cost? 300 gold. Ooh, I don't know if I like him that much. At that point, we kill his dad. No,
Oh
he
yeah,
only has
absolutely.
12 HP now. And just murder him.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're not going to save your son and then you use that for political advantage to keep Volred around. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to let both of y'all die. And then we're going to put his mom in charge. Autumn Yandere favors putting the mom in charge.
Or, Volred's got stuff to do. But he can help. I don't know.
I mean, he can come back every once in a while, you know? Maybe there's somebody can teleport him back and forth, you
I
know?
will say that little excursion into the forest did answer some questions I had. Because my
Oh, yeah?
process of, do I want to murder his dad? I don't know how strong his guards are, and I don't know how strong he is. I now know I could murder a whole bunch of them by myself.
Like, essentially by yourself. Yeah,
You
absolutely.
guys make sure that like a wizard doesn't fireball over here, and we'll be good. And if they do, the wizard would kill all of them, and I'll probably still be alive.
I can't stop a fireball. I can bring you back from a
Just kind of
fireball.
warn
But
them,
like,
like, hey, fireball coming. Okay. But it answered the question of how physically strong are they, and we're surrounded by 6 guards is no longer intimidating to me.
that's fair. And the two little guards that stand outside our door all the time, I'm like, guys, come on.
I can open the door too hard and kill them by accident. Like, oh no.
Essentially.
So that's what I learned during that excursion.
I feel like that's a fair learning opportunity.
Because now I can bully his dad. Because
I mean, yeah.
literally saved his life and could easily kill everyone in the castle, apparently.
Oh, if you think Yandere like is not going to take full advantage of the fact that if he does make Yandere bring his son back to life, that's not like a bargaining tool or a chip there.
That's a deal.
Oh,
Baby.
yeah, it's definitely a deal. There will probably be some stipulations there before it happens, but we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, I just feel better about that fight. Even though the kid died, I feel bad about that. But we did everything we could.
I like immediately turned around and tried to heal him. So like it wasn't like he went down and was sitting there for 3 turns like his father. But I tried to heal him immediately, and it was just like, nah, he's dead.
To discover a major issue with Izal, because it's happened for the 4th time now.
Movement.
Magic, right next to me. I can do nothing.
Oh yeah, somebody just literally casting invisibility on themselves right next to you.
Bye, I guess. Teleportation right away from me. It's happened 4 times. People just poofed. Huh. I looked into Mage Slayer. I was like, oh, this does nothing. This will not help at all.
You just need more perceptive people around you, like myself and Volred.
Just need the ability to stop them from casting it halfway through by beating the crap out of them.
I mean, that's an ability that allows you to stop people from casting. Just beat them before they can cast.
They're dead now. I need an AoE melee attack. Is that a thing? Axel could do it. How come I can't do it?
I was like, because I think we had Cleave.
Great.
Cleave is not a thing anymore.
Whirlwind attack.
Which they should bring back. Like, I would love to see people start cleaving stuff. But, again, it's semantic.
If I could get the full Dante magic item, I'm sure that could be a thing that could be added onto it. If you kill this thing, you can kill the thing next to it.
Nah.
Come on.
Nah.
You guys got magic. What do I got?
Not unless I get my bow back. If I get Serpentine's bow back, then you can have your full Dante.
Your person's using it.
Yes, Serpentine was using it. I don't even know what Serpentine's doing now. Like, I know he's running a kingdom, but like he's made it to where everybody has been blocked off. Maybe I can ask that question through Arthur if Arthur ever decides he wants to pop his head up again.
Hey, I came back. You got a bow now. Like, what?
Oh, that would be crazy. Now, I got my White Ash staff. I think that's about as far and as lenient as the DM was going to be with that character. Only because I nagged him every single episode about getting a White Ash staff.
Just a stick made out of white ash wood. That's fine.
That's all I wanted.
All right. Are there any questions you have for other people or myself? I am other people.
I was like, I mean, I could ask the question and then not get an answer on it because you have to wait until later on to actually answer it.
Or for myself.
I really didn't think that through, but I promise I will have questions. I ask questions anytime you're on Adjacent with Jace. I make sure to ask you at least one question. But I don't really have one right now, to be honest with you.
My question, since you have a new character since the last time you were on, if your character was cast in a movie, who would play it?
Oh my gosh. James McAvoy.
He can play.
We know he could do it. We know he could do it because Split was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. It was top tier, and I feel like that would be the exact epitome of what Yandere would be like. Like, is it Pam? Pamela? What was the name of the woman?
It was Pam.
So good. Just so good. So yeah, I would say James McAvoy. Absolutely, hands down.
Are there any abilities that your character could have that you're looking forward to getting?
I mean, there's a lot of class abilities that my character gets later on down the road that I am ecstatic about. But I'm trying to figure out if they weave into the way that I want to play my character. And that's where I get stuck. So I'm excited about a lot of the things for the Grave Cleric. But it's just going to take so long to get there that I don't know if I'll actually be able to weave that into my character. So I harbor my excitement for things only because I don't know if I'm ever going to make it to this. My character might die. We might finish the campaign before we even hit that level. Like, there's a lot of things high level that I would be excited to get if it comes to that point. But as of right now, I'm just like, I just want to play. I just want to play and enjoy myself and do some wild, kooky shit with some random ass people and just have fun.
Do you think we'll go to the Underdark?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's been mentioned a couple of times, and I feel like the DM is running out of space with the Elven Runes thing. We got to do something different. And he likes going underground. Like, he loves doing, like, dark, like, what is the name of that? I can't even remember the name of the book with all the, like, mind flayers and stuff.
Call of Cthulhu?
Like, no, what is the actual, like, genre of that?
Cryptid?
Oh, no. I don't know what it's called. I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, he likes doing that kind of stuff. Like, he likes integrating that stuff, like, mildly into his stories. We never get to the point where we run into a mind flayer, but, like, it's always hinted at. It's always some place where it's like, oh, you rush into this. If you go into this area, you're not going to like it. And I always feel like we teeter-totter right there on that level, and he's going to get to the point where it just snaps, and he's like, no, I'm throwing you guys in there.
We'd never go into those things. We abruptly turn around. We don't teeter-totter. We just leave.
Oh, yeah. I think he definitely doesn't like the fact that we have avoided a lot of situations in this campaign already by just saying no.
we're alive. So there. We said yes to a hunting trip, and look what happened. A kid died. So just let that be a reminder. Every time the DM tries to tell you to go do these kinds of things on the side, just say no. No. We're not going to play your game. We play our game. We're going to go be merchants for sweet nut milk. Something keeps going on.
I'm just saying, you told Yandere that you guys are like the name doing business as Sweet Nut Milk, and then you named the place you stay as Sweet Nut Manor, and so Yandere's like,
nut first. Which nut is the sweetest nut? That should be.
That's what we have to figure this out, and Yandere is willing to ask these questions to get these answers. But maybe you guys have to just kind of follow along with it every once in a while.
But I'm pretty sure it's just coconut.
Is that the sweet? I'm likely to believe you right now, but I feel like that merits like an additional question to the DM.
We'll have to get it. That's our campaign long goal, is to truly find the sweet nut.
Lovecraftian is what I was trying to get at before. Oh, Lovecraftian.
HP Lovecraft, yeah, that makes sense. We've never gone against like a mind flayer thing in Eric's campaigns.
No, like I said, it's just heavily hinted at.
I'm just wondering why. Like, we've not gone against beholders, mind flayers. There's a lot of like really big iconic things we've never gone against in these campaigns.
I'm not throwing that out there for Eric to put that in our campaign because it is what it is. I don't want to fight a beholder. That's not the journey that I want to go on. But like a mind flayer, I might deal with. But like a beholder, no, absolutely not.
What about beholders? Those are the fun.
Oh no, I love the thought process of a beholder. I love the mythos of a beholder. I love like using a beholder. But fighting a beholder, it's not my journey. It's not my journey.
What, 3 versions of them in my game?
Yeah, and none of them were fun. Absolutely none of them were fun.
You're great. It's an awesome time. All right, we're getting near the end now. So I'm going to have to ask you, Deadpool, who's putting at your top?
As a player, the Deadpool vote for me.
Keep in mind, you and Caleb have like 60 HP.
I understand that. But keep in mind, in the last couple of fights, I've taken maybe 14 damage.
You're the cleric.
I mean, I that's what I'm saying. It's like in the last couple of fights, I've taken maybe 14 damage, whereas a lot of other people in our party have gotten really close to just kicking the bucket. I'm going to say Kelmec. And the reason why I say Kelmec is because Kelmec puts himself in very precarious situations. And he doesn't have Izal level health. He just kind of runs in. And I don't think he has a very good armor class either. So he's really just kind of banking on doing a lot of damage really quickly and knocking someone out. And as we get to late game, that's not going to work. That's not going to be very favorable. So I'm going to say Kelmec with a real close Caleb. Like a real close Caleb.
That's a good choice. Kelmec does put himself in those positions where he just takes hits. Because Eric will hit you. Your AC doesn't really matter. Even if it's like 20-something, he's going to hit you. 18 is not unhittable. My AC is 18. He hits me.
If I'm wearing my actual plate, my AC is 19. But right now it's a 17 because I took the studded leather.
You're going to get hit, so you better have a way around it, and it doesn't. So, although I would say I would put my second shot probably at Yandere because you're the healer, and as someone who's experienced it, you don't got the HP Kelder had.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. But Kelder also ran into some really stupid situations and would put himself in big danger. The only time The only time I felt confident about Kelder running in with someone is if there's spellcasters about. Like if there were spellcasters, it made sense for Kelder to just do whatever he wanted to do because he was going to get hit regardless. But Kelder would run in face first to a lot of other things, and I'm like, bro, you are the healer. You should probably stay back. But Kelder didn't make the wisest decisions either.
I didn't try to rush in the front. I just wound up in the front.
You were always a close-knit second.
Because the first one was Omlik.
And that's fine, but Omlik can take damage. Listen, we were level 18 when we finalized that game with Kelder, so you had a lot more to bolster. But those earlier levels were a little rough, my friend.
I was always within like 10 HP of Omlik. Even the early levels. And our AC were basically the same. He was like 1 or 2 points ahead of me. The problem was, Eric always aims for the cleric.
I always aim for the cleric too, that's fine.
I aim for everybody.
Or you just play somebody like Nock and just never be in range.
Izal has taken more damage this campaign than Nock had entire 3 years.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's called playing smarter.
I'm going to be far away.
It is also that I honestly feel like I kind of messed up sharpshooter for a lot of people in any other campaigns as well. I'm not going to say that I personally have messed up sharpshooter for everyone, but Eric hates sharpshooter. He hates the cover rule, and Nock took full advantage of that at any opportunity he could.
Yeah. Well, we're near the end. I'm going to need you to roll me a D percentile.
My rolls have been horrendous.
Well, there's no good or bad roll here. You are a cleric,
though. 41.
40.
Have we had a 41 before?
I think we've had a couple 42s, yeah. Oh! You turn into a potted plant until the start of your next turn. While a plant, you are incapacitated and are vulnerable to all damage. If you drop to 0 hit points, the pot breaks and your form reverts.
Oh, so I want to take damage. Got it.
Yes. Actually, you want to take no damage. Because your HP doesn't change to 1. Your HP is the same. Now you're vulnerable to all damage, though.
So as long as I don't get doubled and it reverts to 0, like I hit 0, then I'm good.
If you drop to 0 hit points, the pot breaks and your form reverts. Now you're at 0 hit points as a person.
But I'm a person and not a plant.
Unconscious, though.
But I'm a person.
Yes. It can't kill you. Mostly.
Well, you can kill me when I'm a person and unconscious. But
they only have 130 though, so. Well, this was fun. I enjoyed it. It's been too long, and hopefully we'll have you on within the next 5 months.
Yeah, it's gonna be a couple of months.
Check
the 2 round.
Check my invisible wristwatch here. Well, thank you all for coming. I really have to go. I hope you liked watching this really crappy show. So please like, follow, and subscribe is what I'm supposed to say. And as always, we'll see you next Tuesday. Right? Yes. Goodbye. Wiedersehen, guten Tag. Farewell.
Walking hand in hand on the ocean floor, down deep we wander. Louder we sing, no there is no cure in this together.